Hey everyone, I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we have a mission to wake the world up to what's possible, one brave word at a time. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the amazing authors of a new book that we have coming out, The Ultimate Guide to Creating Your Soul-Aligned Business, 25 Practical Strategies from the Experts. Before I introduce these powerful women to you, I just want to say a huge thank you to Camille Miller. Thank you, Camille, so much for bringing this stellar author expert cast together. You have an incredible mission to share soul professionals with the world, and I am so honored to be a part of it. We would not be here without you. And kind of fun to say that this is really Brave Healer Productions' very first business book. I'll put that business word in quotes. Like, we have a mission to share holistic strategies. And when I knew Camille wanted to do a business book, I got excited because I have been running a soul-aligned business for many years. And I can't wait to share all of these authors' ideas about what that is with you. It's really, really exciting. So without further ado, I have Coco Alexandra with me this morning. She supports women through familial, relational, and childhood trauma and guides them back into a state of empowerment through parapsychology, coaching, and energy healing. Gail Gunn is the creator of Energy Organizing, offering a blend of professional organizing, life coaching, and interior design for guiding heart-centered professionals to awaken the mind, body, spirit, and space connection. I've got Robin Mooney with me. She's the founder of On Purpose Coaching, where she guides others to uncover their unique genius and come alive. And lastly, Susan Prescott is with us. She's an expert certified coach and Akashic Records reader who helps business owners identify their soul, talents, and energetic gifts to align with the energy of their business, experiencing profound shifts for success. Yeah, I hope you guys understand the power I have in my Zoom room this morning. All right, Coco, you're going to start this party off. Tell us about the amazing chapter that you wrote.
Hi, thanks for having me. So I wrote chapter 6, and the title is Business Energetics: Why Detoxing Your Life is the Key to Your Brand Success. So in this chapter, I share quite vulnerably about my story and how I arrived and experienced my first spiritual awakening, and how I get to now do the work that I do in serving my clients and the collective. And so in this chapter, I also share one strategy, which is a energetic practice, because we are energetic beings, and everything we say, everything we do, the people that we meet, the places that we go to, there's always an energy exchange wherever we go. And so we pick up these energies. And so energy hygiene is crucial to aligning not only your personal life, but is also the key to your business success, because our soul business is an extension of our energy. So how we upkeep and manage our energies is really important. So the practice that I share is something that you can go back to time and time again. And the fun part about it is that you can add in your own elements onto it as you get more comfortable with this work. And I personally integrate this practice into my daily routine, and it's made a world of a difference in noticing how much energy I give to a certain person, an experience, or a conversation, and which then becomes an energy leak, right? And so this practice really supports us in releasing those cords and coming back into alignment with our energy so that we can thrive and flourish in all areas of our life.
I love the term energy hygiene. That was cool. Like brushing our teeth, right? If we make it regular like that, it's a really good thing.
Absolutely.
So you said that you said the word vulnerable, and so I kind of want to just say thank you to all of you for really writing your hearts and souls out on these pages and getting vulnerable and telling those real stories. But Coco, for you, had you written before in that vulnerable sense? Was this the first time of you doing that? How was that for you? How was the process of writing this story?
It's something that I've shared with my online community before, but that's in a closed space, right? So this is my first time writing and being a published author soon. And so I think it was very different for me because I'm like, oh, wow, this is like going to really be out in the world now. But in doing this work, I also know that one of my purpose here in this lifetime is to lead by example. And so no matter how painful or traumatic my past was, I'm here to share that because perhaps my story will trigger some who are not ready, and that's okay. But for those who need to hear it, perhaps that they'll spark something within them to feel like, oh, there's hope. If she can do it, maybe I can do it too, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Part of the mission that I have in helping you all do that. So you said that very beautifully. And thank you for, doing this and writing it. And it is quite one thing to tell your story in different places, but when we hit go on that publishing button, it seems to feel a little bit crazier, a little bit more intense, a little bit more everything. So I appreciate all of you for being the warriors that you are in doing that. I really do think it takes a warrior. Warrior in my book is someone who is willing to trailblaze the vulnerability as the strength. And I love you all for that so much. So thank you, Coco. Gail,
Thank you.
I would like to hear about your amazing chapter next.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me. I also like the word energy hygiene, Coco. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's such an interesting way to say it. So yeah, my name is Gail Gunn. I'm the owner of Energy Organizing, and my chapter is chapter 22. It's called The Room of Indecision and the 5 Ugly Truths to Organizing. And when I came up with writing about this particular topic and strategy, I thought about my own journey and my own, path to where I am now. And one of the things that I recognized recently is that, when you take the time to heal and to continue on your journey, but on the healthier side of your journey, people don't always know where you came from. They don't know that you had the struggles. They think, oh gosh, you must always be organized and how great that must be. And so this was a chance for me to share that the reason I do what I do is because I get it. I've been there and I've had to make those tough decisions and chose to make those tough decisions, and the theories and philosophies that I've developed as a result of that. And so this was a great opportunity to share that with people who may be struggling with being organized.
Yeah, you're talking about something in business, where we have come together in this collaboration to talk about business and the amazing ways that we can be business owners and do business. And what you're talking about is building this know, love, and trust with our clients. And to trust somebody, I think, is partially what you just said. Like, you kind of have to know where they've been and what they've done and how they got to what they're doing, right? What else do you want to say about that piece?
Yeah, they need to know, it's about knowing that you get it. I think what makes us really good at what we do is that we pull from some sort of personal experience, and we use that's where our passion comes from. And we use that to fuel the work that we do. And, and so it's important to share that piece, because if we sort of ignore or bypass how that passion is fueled or where it comes from, people might not know that we're the right one to work with them, because they don't know that we get it. They don't know that we're working from personal experience. They may think it comes from some other place. And so, when it comes to serving people and helping people create their own businesses and passion, it's helping them to see that the more they can be vulnerable and talk about the things that help them get where they are, the more they can do and accomplish in the world.
Yeah, for sure. And then also just a practical piece to that is understanding your best ever client. I changed, y'all have heard know, like, and trust. Well, I changed it to love on purpose. because I want to have that feeling with the people that I work with. And it's not just a like, because I like a lot of people,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I wanted to kind of amp that up a notch because then the energy shifts.
Yeah. And I love that. I like having people, I love what I do. And I love inspiring, motivating, and empower other people to be their best self and to live their best life. And love is such a huge part of it. Like you said, I like a lot of things. I don't, I love a lot of things too, but not the same way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Gail. We're going to
Sure.
hear more in a couple of minutes. Robin, tell us about your amazing chapter.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Laura. And I am just so privileged just to listen to all of your stories this morning because we haven't had the opportunity to do that. So thank you so much. Well, I am Robin Mooney. My chapter is chapter 25, Leading with Soul, How to Bring Your Unique Genius to Life. And like Coco, this experience was an incredible exercise in vulnerability. I love how you talked about being a warrior, Laura, and blazing a trail. I've looked at my entire life as a hero's journey, which is really what got me to this discussion with Camille some months ago in looking at what is it that I'm doing in my business that's calling my soul to life, that's inspiring others in how they live their soul-led life and eventually their business. So in 2018, I experienced a traumatic brain injury, and that was, let's just say, a pattern interrupt. Tony Robbins would call that a pattern interrupt, right? I had been living in my head my entire life due to lots of childhood trauma. And that experience over the course of the last 3.5 years really gave me the invitation of moving from my head into my heart. And my entire life, I knew that I was different. I felt like a square peg, round hole, had not been seen. And this experience led me to a lot of excavation of what was it that was really my brilliance? What was I called to do? Why was I here? How could I help make a difference in the world? And so much like all of you, I've taken this healing journey over the course of the last 3.5 years, but really it's been 65 years to really look at what is it that I can do to help others excavate their brilliance. I talk about your unique genius and how do you uncover your unique genius. In this chapter, I give you the beginning of the excavation process, an invitation to really sit with oneself, start looking at what those messages are, what are those patterns, what is it that your soul is aching to tell you, and then that is the opening for us to really start working together so that we can start uncovering what it is that your soul is helping you see and feel and then bring into your life. I am particularly passionate about working with teams and helping them be seen and heard so that they can feel valued and can contribute in ways that they haven't been able to. And I believe the pandemic has provided the opportunity for us to be cracked open, be vulnerable, be willing to start showing up differently. And I believe people are aching to really contribute in new ways. And that really starts with finding your why, what's your purpose, truly the old saying, why am I here? But more importantly, what is my brilliance? How can I shine? How can I shine for my family and for my teams and for my communities? How can I make a difference by uncovering my unique genius?
I want to make sure I heard teams with an M and not teenagers, right? Okay.
Teams. Yes,
That'd be a whole
teams.
nother avenue that we need help with too, but teams is good. Okay,
Teams,
awesome.
yeah.
You know what I love the most about what you said is, and all of you do this, it's a practice of your life, and that is to look at tragic events as possible opportunities that would open up a door to something. And when you all give people that perspective and they can look at an event that they may have judged as bad and look at it as an opportunity, that changes everything, right? Robin, I'll let you continue to answer that.
Well, yes, because when I had the traumatic brain injury, basically nothing was working. And all of my faculties that you can imagine were impacted by that. And I did not feel seen because I didn't even know how to view myself. And that forced me to really move from my head into my heart because my head wasn't working any longer. And I got into my body. I did a lot of meditating. I did a lot of quiet time, but I also really started learning about this process of, I knew there was something inside of me, but they weren't connecting and synapting. And so this amazing process of starting to uncover my unique genius, which helped me really step into this being that I know I've always been, and to shine and share my brilliance. I knew I was called to use this incredibly, I would say, incredibly difficult, life-changing event to help shine and really light a path for others to step into their courage so that they can also do the same, whether it's an injury or a trauma or just experiencing life. I believe we've all got this light inside of us, but we don't have the tools to excavate it and bring it out and then live into that life.
Awesome, Robin. Thank you. Okay, we need to hear from Susan about her amazing chapter. Tell us, Susan.
Well, I'm very humbled to be here. I will tell you that right now. I love meeting all of the other authors and hearing their stories. But I wrote chapter 15, and the title is Merging Business and Spirituality, How to Activate Prosperity and Freedom with Ease. And you know, my story is so similar to so many out there because I had been on this spiritual path, for years, 20 some years, but I was very careful to keep it separate from my business and my professional life. I was walking two paths. And I finally came to the realization that it's not a question if spirituality belongs in the business, but how? How do I merge those two? See, here I was helping the small business implement effective operating systems, providing business coaching, and falling into the trap of being influenced by the expectations and opinions of people outside of me, relying on so-called experts on how a business should be run. You know, and I was clinging to the old paradigms. You know what those paradigms are. The only way to get ahead is to work hard and beat the competition, and the only way, there's only so much to go around. All of this is contradictory to how a sole professional runs their business and their life. And, you know, as a result, what most business owners started this to gain freedom. But that's the one thing that they're missing. How do you have freedom when you're feeling overwhelmed and frustrated and bombarded by all the chaos during the day? So, you know, it was awakening for me to realize that I have within myself everything I need to find freedom. See, the path to freedom is stepping into my optimal power, my authentic self, who I am at soul level, where I'm able to align my soul given, my natural talents, my energetic gifts, to align those with my business, which, by the way, happens to be a soul energetic entity as well. You know, that's when I found freedom. But more importantly, I know that I'm living my divine purpose through my business. So I'm to the point now where I can help my clients discover their uniqueness, their natural talents, their soul gifts, their energy, so they can live their divine purpose and, yeah, you know, be prosperous and make money at the same time. Isn't that what we all want?
Yeah, that's well, that's part of freedom, is financial freedom. And I am a little bit I am motivated to talk more about that piece and not feel shame about wanting it.
Right. Exactly.
And, you know, so if I can provide, and one of my favorite affirmations that I developed for myself is, I have enough time, energy, money, and resources to generously take care of myself and everyone I love. And I love the feeling of that, you know, and I think that we can talk about this, right, Susan?
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about it without having to feel bad about it.
Well, you know, that's our conditioning. We've all had these negative conditionings and the beliefs. When you start talking about your attitudes toward money, you know, the stories that come out that money is evil and rich people aren't good, and all of these, and that if you're spiritual, you shouldn't have money. Well, money is only energy. That's all it is. And we use money as an exchange so that we can make this world a better place and give and receive at the same time. It's a flowing process. So it's a mindset. And that's what I help my clients, is to develop that mindset that they have within them, everything that they need to be. And I think my greatest thing that I had to overcome is see the uniqueness and the wonderful and the light in shining inside of them with no judgment at all, because we all have it.
No doubt. And oh my goodness, so you're going to make me go on to this tangent that we could talk all day about, but the awareness practice. I'm going to ask you all about this in a couple of minutes. Susan, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys, I have this question, and part of me just wants to hear all the different answers that you all are going to talk about. You all actually touched on it already, so this should be easy for you. But the other motive I have behind this is I actually want our lead author, Camille, to hear your answers to this next question, because this is her whole mission, right? So Gail, let's start with you on this one.
Great.
I'm setting it up worse than it is. You'll be fine. What does having a soul-aligned business even mean to you? What does that soul professional mean to you?
That's a really great question. I think it's interesting because the whole soul-aligned, heart-centered, holistic approach to business, I would say was actually first introduced to me by Camille when I met her back in 2018. And it's not that I didn't know about it, but it wasn't talked about and it wasn't necessarily a thing. And so, over the years of being a part of her community and learning more about the soul professionals, so having a soul aligned business, it's kind of like, I'm a very introspective person. So I would say, what is that? Is that me? And so to me, the soul aligned business is about just being in alignment. Like every fiber of your being is in alignment with who you are, with what you do, with how you show up, with what you present to the world. And so it really, like, soul aligned is just, it's not to say that our lives don't have, ups and downs and highs and lows and things like that. They're just easier to navigate because we're aligned with who we are. And it doesn't take a lot of doing. There's not a lot of doing and a lot of the, dare I say, masculine energy driving us. It's just a very much being who we are and living in our truth and our agency. So, yeah.
Okay, super opening answer to that question. And I totally know it's hard to go second, third, and fourth on this one, you guys. So then what I'll say to each of you is then what would you add to that brilliant answer? Robin, you're next on this one. What does it mean to you to be a soul professional and have a soul aligned business?
Well, Gail, thank you for going first with that answer. You used a couple words that really resonate for me, but I want to expand on those, Laura. First of all, you talked about being aligned. We use that word aligned a lot, and you also use the word no. And for me, I believe there's a shift between being aligned, and I speak with my hands. If I had to sit on my hands, I could never express anything. Then there's the know versus knowing. Deep in my soul, I know, I have a knowing that this is where I'm called, this is where I'm led. And it's also about embracing and honoring those gifts. Susan, you talked about how do I share my gifts with my clients, and then being very intentional about what it is that I can share and how I can help others on their path, how I can help them come alive, how I can help them be more prosperous, how I can help them shine, how I can help them, come into their unique genius.
Awesome. That's, I love listening to y'all talk about this. And it's why the collaborative book projects turn me on so much, because we need every voice in every unique way that we can talk about a subject, right? And that's what you all are doing so brilliantly right now with this question. Susan, you happen to be next on this one. What would you add to this?
Well, I love, I love what both of you have already said. And I think just to put a different layer on that, it's called beingness. you know, when I was teaching my leadership classes, someone says, well, Susan, Venus isn't a word. And I says, well, for me, it's a very important word, because knowing who we are, and it's not just saying it, it's not just writing it or doing it, but actually being that soul person. And you have to define that for yourself. But for me, it's being non-judgmental. It's me knowing who I am at soul level as far as my natural talents. And when I read the Akashic records, this is something I can help my clients figure out for themselves. You know, how can I take my uniqueness and serve? Because I love what you said. How can I serve and help raise the energy and the vibrational level of this world?
Nice. I love the additions. You're expanding this definition as we go. Okay, Coco, I know, last but not least, what would you add to these brilliant answers?
Well, first off, thank you for all those amazing responses. I love each and every one of your responses, and yeah, alignment for sure, definitely. But I think also being a soulpreneur and having a soul aligned business is first and foremost for me really a opportunity to listen deeper and trust deeper, and surrendering where surrendering is needed. Because when we learn how to do that, we are tapping into a deeper consciousness within ourselves and also connecting deeper with the universe, thus being able to lead by example more and support our clients along the way. And also just really walking the walk and talking the talk, right? Just talking about alignment again. Not saying one thing and doing another behind the scenes, but really living your truth and living what you're preaching, I feel is what I'd like to add to that.
That's perfect. I love that. And I'll add mine. Soul aligned or being a soul professional means being joy aligned for me. And when I am in the pursuit of what that is and that feeling inside of me, I know when things are aligned. And for me, it's very much a body, heart, soul, everything feeling, but it's embodied. I mean, I know when I'm joyful and I know when I'm not. And it is my best GPS for if my day is running aligned or not, you know. And what a great thing, right? Sometimes that sounds really easy, and I think the practice is what matters. And so I'm going to ask you all this next question about that practice. So Robin, I'm going to start with you on this one. An important part of having that soul aligned business for me is the awareness practice that I incorporate every day. So when I'm connected to the moment and to that intuition and that higher source, anything is possible. It feels like that. And everyone's practice is a little different. And there are so many ways that each of us connect to that energy and that source. So what I want to know from you all today is what's one, I know there's probably 100 you could talk about today, but what's one of the ways you practice connecting in that awareness practice that you have every day?
All right, well, thank you for the opportunity to go first with this question. I did write 4 words down and I will only choose one. It is what you mentioned earlier, Laura, and it is being in your body. I use breath work every day, whether it's before I even get up in the morning, whether it's when I'm walking the dog, whether it's when I'm writing my journal. I sit with myself and I just breathe. And I breathe into a space of intention, asking for messages, energy, direction. And then I allow whatever that is. And I also, much like all of you, I really allow myself to have it be easy and to step into an energy of this does not have to be the hard work that we've been told for the last 65 years, that joy comes easy, that the energy comes easy. And when I am in flow, through my breath work, then I can actually step out into the world and then live that and be that. To your point, Susan, it's that beingness.
Yeah, nice, Robin. Thank you. Susan, you're up next on this one. You guys keep riffing perfectly off of each other in the order I have here.
Breathing is so important. And I guess the word that I'm going to use next is gratitude, because you use the word GPS system, and we have that. When you don't feel good, you're not connected. When you feel good, you're connected. So when you don't feel good, it's just, again, coming back into the realization that, well, thank you for, whatever is going on. And we can be grateful even for those hard things that are going on. Thank you for the perfect answer that's coming. Thank you, because what we focus on is what is returned. We live in a world of polarity. There's always a negative and a positive, and sometimes in between. So it's shifting our mindset to being more positive.
Yes, that's so important. Gratitude is a biggie, I think, in terms of shifting. When I want to flip the switch, I will just, I'll do what Robin said. I'll first breathe. And that, I combine a lot of the tools, as I'm sure all of you guys do. But then I'm just going to look around me into the beautiful house that I live in and be grateful. There's always something. It's so important. Coco, how about you? How would you add to this?
So similarly to everyone else, I begin with breath work, but I think because the first modality that began my journey was aromatherapy, and I'm a certified aromatherapist. Essential oils are really a big part of my morning practice. And so after I breathe, I feel like, okay, I know what's going on. Let's go. And then I talk to my oils and I see which oil speaks to me, which plant speaks to me. And I know already what's to come for that day. I mean, I'm on a trip right now, so I even have my oils for this trip. And so I use the oils in my practice to guide and to open up my energies and to align and anchor different messages that perhaps I'll need, or maybe my clients need. And also I really smell like a spa afterwards. So I kind of love it.
I love oils so much. You're reminding me, I didn't put them in my diffuser this morning. I missed that step. I love that. Oh my gosh, such powerful medicine in essential oils. And so, y'all are going to have to get with Coco later about all of the different ways and the recipes and the things that you can do for the different parts of your day. Whew, don't get me started on that one. Okay. It's such a great topic. Gail, how about you? What's one of the ways you connect in your practice?
It is tough to go last because everybody said such amazing, wonderful things. I feel like I would be repeating it. Similar to what you had said about awareness and the awakening piece of it. For me, it's really about, I don't necessarily have a routine or a ritual, so to speak. At least not one that's, something that I do regularly, other than slowing down. I think for me, it's about, when things feel crazy or hectic or out of balance, in whatever that means to how someone interprets it, it's about being able to slow down and to just be present and to be aware. A lot of the work that I do is about awakening, and that's sort of my word of choice. And so if I feel like things are out of balance, and balance isn't, even to me, balance isn't even keeled in all areas of life. It's being able to have rhythm and flow. So anytime things, like I said, anytime things kind of feel out of whack, it's just about slowing down and recentering myself. And I do that, actually I do that through writing. I think I'm not really much of a writer, but I do like to journal, and I find that very helpful in being able to just get things out of my head or heart.
Well, I'm a fan.
So, talking to authors here, so go figure.
And that's slowing down, I think, really, really important. And of course, I definitely would have added that part of my miracle morning practice is journaling, and it's also my channel. So I meditate with writing. And that's been a really, really important part of my day. And I love hearing about all of your ways because, of course, our listeners need all of the ways. And now speaking to our listeners and viewers, you may have tried 20 things. Well, there's a 21st thing. Don't worry. Keep seeking, keep listening to people's stories, keep trying new tools. If you've never tried an oil, awesome. Try it. If you've never tried breath work, profound modality. If you have never slowed down, well, you should be slowing down. I mean, we need to try these different things, and there's always going to be another thing. And there's 100 more ways to connect that we haven't talked about yet today, right? I challenged these ladies to choose one. That's hard because they each have a toolkit full of strategies and tools and practices that they, offer in their coaching practices. So I know you're going to want to take them up on learning about more. So Susan, I'm going to start with you for this last question I have for all of you. So to me, community has been the difference between success and failure. And I want to hear about your community and what that has meant to you. And remember to unmute yourself, Susan.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right.
Right. As you grow and as you develop and as your spirituality becomes stronger, you're going to find that you're going to draw to you like-minded people. And so when I'm talking about community, I mean surrounding yourself, people who can really support you on your own journey and how you can support them. And I think that's one of the powerful things about this community that I found, even with these authors. And, when I go into a business now, we talk about creating teams, but it's more about creating a community within that business with your team members. And I want to give other people chances to talk on this as well.
I love that point, though. I hadn't really thought about that within the team. I'm sure Robin has a thing or two to say about the team there too. Yeah, awesome, Susan. Thank you. So Coco, what would you say about your community and what that's meant to you?
Community has always been a really huge thing for me. I think being, also like an only child. So I've always had a community around me, but I think throughout the years, community, the meaning of community and my actual community has shifted a lot. And just as Susan mentioned before, it's a group of people that are like-minded, but I also think that, my community specifically, I'm really, really grateful for now. There are a bunch of super empowering heart warriors, as you mentioned earlier. And I feel like I see a bit of myself in each and every one of them and vice versa. And I think we all have this common thread that brings us all together, whether it's through trauma, it's through love, it's through healing, whatever. And yeah, I just love my community.
I love the way that you're talking about it too. Thank you. How about you,
Thank you.
Gail? What's your community meant to you on this journey?
Like the others have said, community is so important. And what comes to mind for me with community is also more about connection. And so, it is the like-mindedness, but it's being able to come together with other individuals and creating a connection, a place where we can release judgment, live with curiosity, a place, it's a safe space to express who we are, what we're looking for, and to be able to collaborate and just, I don't know, sharing our gifts and our talents and to feel like we belong somewhere.
Beautiful, Gail. Thank you. And Robin, how about you?
Well, thank you, everybody. Of course, Susan, you and I think we'll be talking as well in reference to teams and community. I wrote down a number of things very quickly. When I took my Martha Beck life coaching course, the question kept coming up, who are my people? And when I finally realized, once I was good and clear with who I am and what my gifts are that I want to share, how do I want to lead, guide, help, heal? It's as if my people, my community, became attracted to me and vice versa. There's an energetic, there's a soul calling, there's this beautiful thread that gets connected to each of us in our community. I'm so grateful to have been invited into this community. It's just such a rich, I have goosebumps riding piggyback right now. I'm just really grateful. And that's, I think, one of the benefits of being in an aligned community, whether you can help create it or we're invited into it. Just so many gifts. We're all probably on a similar path, yet different paths.
No doubt. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Authors, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today to share it with everyone. Thank you for all of the ways you answered all of the questions. I can't leave our community question without just mentioning Camille has a beautiful community called the Natural Life Business Partnership. And in that community, she helps soul professionals to really make their mark in the world. And she's doing some pretty amazing work in the world. And I'm super proud to be a member of that community. Camille, thank you for bringing me into it and doing that in such a wonderful, welcoming way. Just started to meet soul professionals all around the world who are hot in their missions, and y'all are changing the world. And this book is phenomenal. And if you are a heart-centered, soul-led, soul professional running that soul-aligned business, I cannot wait for you all to get your hands on this book. It is going to be a game changer. And to everyone joining us today for this interview, remember to also join us for our live stream book launch party, which is going to be July 6th at 12 noon Eastern. Yay. I'm going to gather with all of our soul-aligned business authors, and we'll be doing some giveaways that day. You're going to find that on the Brave Healer Productions Facebook page. If one of these women said today gave you the goosebumps, or you're interested and curious, just hop on down to the show notes because I have them all hooked up with their websites. Go explore. They are up to some amazing things in the world, and they are very generously there for you to answer questions and to connect further. And then if you're listening to this after that party date of July 6th, well, that means our book is ready and you need to hop over to Amazon and grab your copy today. And maybe you guys are also a wellness practitioner who is ready to share your brave words in one of our upcoming best-selling book collaborations. You can find more at bravehealer.com. And lastly today, everybody remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it's time to be brave. See you next time, everyone. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.